Being a leader is often described as quite a lonely business.
Yeah.
How do you find it?
It is lonely. I can see why people say that, because when you're doing well, everyone wants a piece of you. But when it's not going so well, then you've got to deal with it on your own, and that's what I found in the first 6 months. But I'm thick-skinned. I've got called a very good player. I've got called a terrible player. I've got called a player that I should never play ever again. So I'm sure I'll get called that as a manager. The right selection, the wrong selection. Don't know what I'm doing. Do know what I'm doing. I'm thick-skinned.
A lot of CEOs and leaders have a mentor.
Yeah.
Do you have one that you call on regularly?
It was my father. Unfortunately, my father's passed away. And what I tend to do, which is quite strange really, is I tend to go and shut myself in my bedroom for about an hour, and I start asking him questions with my eyes closed, and he gives me answers. It's strange, they're my answers, but I know what he would say to me from, fortunate enough for him to be here for 58 years was brilliant, and I know that there is answers translated through me. So he usually is the right answer. So he is my mentor, and I know he's looking down on me now.
How do you feel after you lose?
My wife's not too happy. I know that. I'm disappointed, but I'm disappointed for the effort that the guys have put in. They don't mean to lose. They don't mean to not play to the levels that they should play at. But it's football. Sometimes things happen, so it's important. Then I go home, I reflect. I probably stay in hibernation for 24 hours. And on Monday morning, I come back in and I'm refreshed, I'm lively and bubbly, and I'll make sure that the team is focused again.
You've experienced losing, of course, as a player, so you know how it feels to go home Saturday evening, Sunday evening, having lost, and then have to come into training the next morning and sort of like pick things up.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that as a coach? Because that seems to be one of the hardest things.
It is, and I think it's important that you have a coach that backs his players, because players do question themselves. They go through stages throughout the season where they think they're good players and they think they're bad players and they think they're better than they should be and better than they are and things like that. So it's important that, they're the same player whether they play well on a Saturday or don't play well on a Saturday. And I reiterate to that on a Monday, if they don't play well, that, listen, as long as you work hard, that's all I can ask. And as long as they give me the commitment and the effort within the game, the ability will take care of itself. I've got 26 individuals in that locker room, and each of them need to be managed differently. I try and do it as a group as much as I can, but the individuals that I need to speak to, I don't make a point of showing everyone in the group that I'm doing it. I pull them into my office and I do it that way. And like I said, some do need an arm around their shoulder. We've got a very young group of players at the moment, but the reason I want a young group of players is because I want hunger. I'm a young coach who's hungry, and I want to get to as high a level as I can, and I want a group of young players who also want to get to the next level as well.